speaking of global economy, all these corporations are getting tax breaks, and those that are below the poverty level or mid-class are being walked over, stepped over, and not being recognized. The City of London has a homeless issue in regards to sheltering. You look at the mission, they have a crash bed program for the women that are on the streets. What about opening a new shelter for that? What about helping educate the City of London and helping eliminate the homeless? Topics like that, for some, I mean, that's my theory, and that's one of the reasons I'm down there. But we need to move forward on the issues that are down there. And once again, we welcome you to come down and speak with someone. I mean, not everybody here is down there for the same reason. Everybody here is down there because this is a global movement. It's a matter of, it's not just municipality, it's not just the country, it's a global issue. There are issues where we can start here in the city and work from that and move it out. The City of London can use this time to stand forth and become the icon of the movement by making a difference, start to move towards a difference where we can set it. I mean, it's got to start somewhere. And if the City of London takes this opportunity, which you have, by opening the council doors to a meeting, being the first city, I compliment you on that. That's a big step in such short notice. But once again, there are many members here of the Assembly that have their own personal reasons for being there. I can't speak on behalf of all of them. I can speak out on behalf of my issues and some of the issues I've heard. However, if more information is needed, we welcome you once again. But homelessness, for one, is a major topic in the City of London, especially for youth. I mean, the youth gets moved forth. You have men's shelters, you have women's shelters. What about shelters for the youth that are sleeping on the streets, the youth that are homeless? What about programs to help move them forth out of that homelessness? I mean, there's so many different topics just based on the city that it's impossible to be answered just today alone.
I'd just like to thank the Mayor and the Council for having us here, for accepting our invitation to an open dialogue in this manner. We realize that the processing of a complaint, for example, is necessary because a civil complaint is brought to this council, a person's issue must be addressed in the manner of the bylaw infraction. I'm just here to speak a little bit here today on why we believe we have a legal right to peaceful assembly there. So I would like to also applaud you for fulfilling your role in bringing this complaint to the public venue so quickly, and we appreciate your prior endorsement of our charter right to peaceful assembly. We understand that civil bylaws are a part of the City Council's duties, and we thank you for weighing them appropriately against the freedoms ascribed to us by Section 2C of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and Section 20A of the UN Declaration for Human Rights and Freedoms. Though we realize that the peaceful assembly may be in violation of Section 4.1, subsection 3 of the London Parks and Recreation Bylaw, we understand that you as the City Council may choose to encourage the General Manager of London Parks to authorize this lawful assembly, as several precedents have been set for bylaw exceptions in the past. The tents are only at the park because we are having a really long and peaceful assembly. I myself am involved in committee meetings or assemblies 10 to 12 hours a day and cannot afford to be elsewhere. The dialogue continues 24/7 and does so to facilitate the necessity of considering and including all people in London, a city large enough that everyone is never asleep at the same time. The elements are harsh and the weather bitter cold. The tents are there as protection from these elements and necessary support to our right to peaceful assembly. I'd also just like to make a comment about, we were talking about issues. I can bring forward again a personal issue that I have felt. I cannot represent the community in this way, but I'd just like to put out that one of the issues that the occupation has been discussing at length has been a wide variety of trickle-down economic effects. We can see things like housing projects and a lot of various infrastructure to help various members of the community. We see a lot of money being put into a lot of different areas, but unfortunately, corporate accountability is at an all-time low, in my personal opinion. And a lot of this money ends up going into the pockets of these corporate managers and, in some cases, banksters and financial speculators in terms of the way in which debts and loans are created and managed. There are a lot of various issues surrounding the infrastructures of our current society, and like has been discussed, we're just here for open dialogue to begin to try to find solutions to, rather than just demanding answers to a lot of the problems that we face. I just wanted to also say that our General Assemblies are generally at 1 p.m. and at 6 p.m., although the times do shift, and we have facilitation meetings to help with the generation of the process of these meetings so that we can better begin to communicate to you what some of our issues are. So we ask you to join us either at these facilitation meetings to help us generate process, either a half hour before these General Assemblies, or join us and bring your voice to be heard and to listen to our voices at the General Assemblies happening at 1 and 6 p.m.